Huntington disease Todd here. Hey, what are you living for? You know, I had that conversation a little bit with my wife yesterday. There's going to be 3 points. Are you living for yourself? Are you living for others? And we all live for something. We all have a reason for being, right? So I'm going to get right into it today because my dragged out entries get people not to watch long enough. I want you to stay with me till the end of this video. Usually I start out slow and I finish strong. But my wife and I just walked out the door the other day. I had been working the last couple of weeks trying to help, organize some things for my sons, get things in order for that, trying to help them on some stuff. And she said last night as we walked out the door, and I was bone tired, she said, I know what you're doing. And I said, well, what am I doing? She goes, you're trying to get everything you can done, while you have time and while you have the chance. And, I said, yeah, you're right. That is exactly what I'm doing. So, I was thinking about it from the standpoint, I've been walking again. I'm trying to get that back in action. Took a little bit of a break. But the 3 points are going to be that. They're going to be, self. Are you living for yourself? Are you living for others? And then also, we all live for something and we all live for somebody. There's no doubt about that. So thinking about the whole theme of it, whether you have Huntington's disease or not, we're all going through something in life. And our lifespan is only so long. We're only going to live till we're 80 or 90 anyway, no matter what condition that we're in. So every day you get to choose something. You get to choose different things in your life. I heard a gentleman say the other day on a video I watched, he said, he used to think about his life as every day he would get a card. He'd get a card daily, and that was a card that he could use for that day. He could use it, and I call it a day card. I made one here for a second. It's a day card. We all get one. And he said, you know what? You can't use yesterday's because it's already gone. And you can't use tomorrow because it ain't here yet. So you get a day card. And I thought it was really interesting. He was an older gentleman, 79. He had been in this certain industry of building cars and that kind of thing. So he got a day card. And on his day, and the way I interpreted it from what he said is, on that day card, you get to make these choices. Is it money, family, friends, living, living, resting, happy, or bitter? What? He didn't say all that. I'm kind of ad-libbing a little bit on that. But his point was, on your day card, you get to make some choices. At certain times in life, we got to choose money. That's what gets us going in life. Sometimes, he was talking about the fact that he had gotten right down to rock bottom, didn't have a penny left to his name, didn't know how he was going to even make it. And a thing came up, and then another thing, and then through life, he just made it through because of all these little, incidental things. But at the end of the day, he just used his day card. He just took his day card and did what he could with it. We all get that card. We all get those choices, and we all get those opportunities. So from that standpoint, whether you have Huntington's disease or not, you get those choices. So you can dedicate your day to yourself, which sometimes we all need that. We need a self day, or we need a day of, self-reflection, or we need a day of self-rest. We need a day of time to ourselves. We need a time to, get our things in order. I've needed some self-time over the last few weeks because I had gotten a little bit backwards and upside down in this whole YouTube thing. I'm trying to get it more in balance with my life. And I talked about that in one of my short videos, Our Lives in Balance. But on yourself, some days have got to be dedicated to that, or part of our lives. And then there's others. Sometimes you got to dedicate yourself to others. Sometimes, you got to live for others. So, the whole theme of this was, what are you living for? Sometimes we do have to live for self, and we have to provide for our family, so we have to make money, and we have to do those things. And then we have to, move on to helping others. I thought about a while back doing a video that just talks about serving others and how much it benefits you. If you're helping another person in life, 90% of the time or 99% of the time, you get more benefit out of it than they do. Whether it's helping someone on the side of the road or what it might be. My mother did that when I was young, and it impressed on me so much that I've ended up being a great help to others. But when I help others, I never look for what it is for me, I always look for what it is for them. What God's answer is in their prayer. Because sometimes there's somebody, this young girl I saw the other day, she had absolutely no prayer. She had no ability to fix the tire. She was on the side of the road. She was jacking the car up all by herself. And I stopped when many people had gone around her. I not only helped her get a tire, but I actually paid for it for her. I'm not saying that about me because it was God's prayer for her. I'm sure she was praying and saying, God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do right here. But hey, all of us have to serve others in some degree. So, sometimes when you think about yourself, if you're a caregiver for someone that has Huntington's disease, you can look at that as being your chance in life to serve. Your chance in life to serve somebody. I was thinking, what if we didn't have Huntington's in our life? What other thing might you have to serve for? What other choices or other things would you have to do possibly for someone? Right? It could be another disease. It could be another ailment. It could be another thing. But I think God has paired us up pretty good. And if we've stuck with it long enough, and if we've been together through all the thick and thin, then we understand that, Huntington's disease is not beautiful. But on the same token, the people of Huntington's are beautiful. Man, I have met some of the most awesome people through this YouTube page and through the comments that are made. I just hear stories of people that talk about, how incredible their life has been, helping someone else, or the fact that the look they get from their loved one, or that special time, all those things. So in your life, living it, you're going to have to help other people probably almost anyway. So we can get burdened down sometimes and say, oh man, I got to take care of my loved one, and it's terrible or hard, and it sucks, or whatever the word is of the day. But in all reality, God never gives us more than we can handle. Sometimes that sounds cliche, and I understand with Huntington's disease, man, there's all magnitudes of this. It can be just as, unforgiving and, hard to deal with as anything in the world. But anyway, at the end of the day, we're going to have to serve other people probably in our life, whether we want to or not. Just thinking about all the people that I've met, no one's ever been able to just get by sitting at home in front of their computer. Now, even if you got home and sat by in front of your computer and did YouTube videos or whatever it may be, you still got to serve people because you still got to put out content. You still got to do things. You still, it's made me a lot more active, and for that I'm very happy. But on the same token, there was a gentleman talking about an app, and it's called the YouTube Studio. Well, that's where you can go look at your daily stats and things like that. So when you look at that thing, it can drive you crazy. And finally, again, I think I got ahead of myself. We all live for something. You got to live for yourself, live for others, but we all do live for something. So why not? Why complain about that, or why be upset about that, or why be bitter about that? It's never easy, and life is never easy. Gosh, I hear, I was going to tell some people that I knew several years ago that I had Huntington's disease. I was going to post it. I was going to make, an announcement. But then I kept hearing of other people that had other things that were afflicting them. And, I finally got to one day where I said, well, man, I don't want to even really bring this up at the moment because I don't want to, rain on other people's things that they're going through. It opened my eyes a little bit then. And all these years later, I think now is the timing for me to come out and talk. But back in those days, I heard about someone that had this thing going on, or another person that, a very big local person that, had such advanced Alzheimer's disease, and she was the most rich woman in the world. She passed away in her 50s. So, how are you going to live your life? That was the whole moral of the story on this. And I hope you made it to the end, because this is the part where, like I say, usually I get better as I go on. But the point of it is, we all have to serve something and someone, and we may as well try to find the peace and the patience and the love and the enjoyment in it all. And this is a Sunday that I'm recording this video, and I'll also say that we need to seek God in things too, because we can't find the strength on our own, no matter how hard we try, no matter what effort we put into it as a human being. So that's today's video. Huntington's disease, Todd. What are you living for? I hope this makes a little bit of sense, and I'm glad that I've got another video recorded. So like the page and subscribe if you will, if you made it all the way to the end. Have a good day.